Hello, I'm Marc Desgroseilliers from Technical Support here at Pix4D, and today I'm talking to you about how to create a new camera model. Now, the question is, why would you want to do that? Well, as you know, the software comes with a database with many popular camera models, but it cannot possibly include all possible combinations and cameras. And as such, it might be that your particular camera is not in the database, and you might want to include it and to calibrate it. Another reason is that maybe you have interchangeable lenses on your camera, and then you would need to create one model per lens, because the parameters of the lens will influence the camera model. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is to acquire a dataset to calibrate the camera. What we recommend is for the dataset to have enough images, so between 80 and 100 is typically a good number. You want to make it easy for the software to do the reconstruction, so high overlap and good visual content on the images. If possible, if you can choose, we would recommend doing a grid flight, because then the overlap is constant. And if you have GCPs in this area, then you should definitely include them. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go in the Edit Camera Model window, and you will select the initial parameters for the optimization. This will depend on whether you have a perspective or a fisheye lens. If you have a perspective lens, then you will input the sensor size and the principal point, and you will input the focal length. Now, the focal length is really important to get right, so you want to input the actual focal length of your camera. If you choose the wrong focal length, then typically what will happen is that your model will have a banana shape, so it will be curved either up like this or down. So really important to choose the correct focal length. Then the final parameters are the distortion parameters, which you want to set to 0 because you're creating a new camera model. Now, if you have a fisheye lens, you will also need to input the sensor size and the principal point. But for the distortion, you will need to choose the form of the polynomial that represents the distortion. We recommend choosing the 01xxx form for a new camera model, and the initial values you can put 000. You will also need to choose the initial values for the affine transformation. We recommend putting for the diagonal entries, that is the C and F, we recommend putting the image width, and for the off-diagonal entries, E and D, you can put 0. Now, once you're done entering the entries for the parameters of the camera, you can start the first step of processing. So you just need to process the first step, and then you will want to assess the quality of the reconstruction. This is typically done by analyzing the quality report and selecting automatic tie points in the ray cloud and looking at the reprojection. If you want more information on how to do this procedure, I recommend you have a look at our video, which is dedicated to the subject of quality assessment. Now, if you find regions in your project which are not well reconstructed, you should add manual tie points in these regions and then re-optimize to make the software take this new information into account. Once the re-optimization is done, you can regenerate the quality report and repeat this procedure if necessary. Inspect for quality, add manual tie points in regions that have problems, and re-optimize. Once you're satisfied with the reconstruction, you will want to save your camera model to the database to be able to use it in future projects. So you go to the Edit Camera Model window, and you will load the optimized camera parameters, set the principal point to half of the image dimension. So that means that for the X coordinate you will go to the width divided by 2, and for the Y coordinate you will go to the height divided by 2. And save these optimized camera parameters to the database. And the final step is to make sure that these camera parameters are accurate for your camera. The best way to do this is to create a new project, select the same images, and now make sure that when you do the first step of processing in this new project, that the output of the new project and of the old project that has the MTPs, so it has the extra information, that the two reconstructions look similar and are of equivalent quality. If that is the case, that means that your camera parameters are correct and you can use them for future projects. That's all I wanted to say about how to create a new camera model in the Pix4D software. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.